Well, welcome back to the WatchTower Film Podcast, the film review podcast on the Towercast Network. By cinephiles, for cinephiles.
Cinephiling all them kids. What? Cinema.
I truly hope you don't go to the YouTube
Hey, yo,
classes.
kids, you're about to get cinephile by a cinephile. How you doing, Margaret?
Oh,
we are back.
We are back.
Looney Tunes back in action.
Indeed.
That's a horrible movie.
It's pretty good.
Nah.
Back.
Is that the one where they go to Vegas?
It's the one with Brendan Fraser.
And
like
yes,
You do?
I liked it as a kid.
I
we're
came into it thinking it was going to be like Space Jam.
living in color, you know?
Jeez.
What?
Hey, no, actually, it's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
I don't know why he did this, but
What? Just,
Jim Carrey was in Living Color.
yeah.
dude, he was like the white boy for the
Wayne brothers.
Yeah.
Welcome back. We're here on our new
and improved
set.
Wow.
You likes?
We're always improving. We're always trying to make it better.
Yes.
Oh, man.
And we got some new fancy chairs.
The only thing that didn't improve was my weight.
And mine either, son.
Well, I'm fixing my shirt.
It's just the same, dog. No, but we got some cool chairs. We got some uplight situations. Uplighting.
What's up, dog?
What's up, lighting?
Damn, this is awful start to a beautiful
Yeah, I love it.
podcast.
I love it.
I
It
think
shows our personality.
no, yeah, I feel like there's so much.
Dumb and dumber. Oh, no, this way. Dumb.
Yeah,
What?
Pointing's hard, Castro. No, there's so much excitement because we have not only is it like a new set, but we have individual camera angles.
We
So
really
we
do.
can all individually give you love. All that.
He's acting like a
Yeah, his movie reviews and analysis is way better than his.
he's acting like a Gen Zer, man. He's doing the heart thing. I don't like it.
Yeah, dude.
What's this,
Once you do
what's
that,
the
bro,
heart thing?
you can't go back.
How do you do it?
You don't
Oh,
know
yeah, girls do it like that. Oh, I thought it was like this.
No,
bro.
no, like this. See,
So girls do it like that.
No, what I found out is that people used to do it like this, but too many people are idiots and make it like a potato, so they don't know how to do the whole heart thing. But if
Now
you
in
just,
VistaVision.
if you do like this thing, and then now that's like a better heart. See,
Dude, I feel like I'm throwing a crib sign.
Same.
I
for
know,
reals.
yeah, and then you know you get to feel
But now
like
it's
throwing.
evolved into
Get
the
out of here.
two-finger thing.
Oh no, you know what I found out about that one is that this is supposed to look like an anatomically correct heart. You know, like this is the
Oh,
heart.
is that what that is?
Yeah. I always thought it's like it's a baby heart, and it's like no, it's supposed to be like the valves. Like
I'm not
the
gonna
little-
lie. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. So it's like heart.
And what's this when people do this?
That's white power. That's not good.
Yeah, right?
That's not. It's
Fuck
not
you.
good.
Oh, who you gonna punch?
Yeah, who you gonna punch?
Ghostbusters.
Right now, when we get to your.
Hey, Austin.
Wow.
You knew what was going on.
We take it back in time, you know?
We're back. We're here to talk to you about cinema. We're continuing our auteur series, but before we continue, before I introduce everybody in the room, we'd like for you all to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Let people
Yeah.
Take
know.
a moment.
Hey, Carlos. Why do you laugh at me?
Because you're about to do
Carlos.
like an infomercial monologue.
No,
right?
Yeah, bro.
Give them a prompt. They gotta comment. What's that about?
How about you comment on that? And
Give them a prompt. I don't know.
what is this, an essay?
Yes.
You call me a turp?
I get. You know what? Like whenever I'm watching like YouTube and they're like comment down below, I like go in the comments like, what do I do? You know.
Just comment what you
What do you
like.
say?
I mean, we haven't talked about anything yet. What would you like them to comment on?
What would you like us to talk about this episode? Oh wait.
They can't. It's not live, dog.
Go ahead.
Just comment what you please.
No. Give them their time. Go ahead.
Well, wait.
Oh,
A moment of
it's
silence.
okay. It's hard.
Mouth words are hard.
Mouth words are hard.
Hey, I try.
Thank you for joining us. We're continuing our cinematic auteur month, and
Yes, we have.
today we're kicking off a new series of the late. I just wanted to see his reaction. Not the late, but definitely the great Wes Anderson.
Oh, I like that.
Did I get cut off?
I want to make sure he gets through this.
Oh, buddy. It's okay. People say Scorsese's gonna die all the time in my face. So
No, he's got some good energy to him
I
still.
agree.
He's got chops.
Still kicking.
He can make some cinema.
He
I'm
can
scared
make
there
a
with Irishman. I
mean
thought he was-
movie.
The Mean Street. Wes Anderson month. 5 weeks. 5 weeks? 5 weeks or 4 weeks?
Cheers.
5 weeks. 5 weeks of Wes Anderson. How you feel about that?
5.
How you like them apples?
Count them. 5.
I'm not gonna lie, man. This is a good way to start. I really
Yeah.
was not expecting this movie to
Yeah,
be this
4
good.
4 out of 5. 4 out of 5? 3 out of 4 gentlemen in the room hadn't screened this film.
No,
So before I introduce the film, I got to introduce my fellow co-host, Mr. Jean-Eric Castro, offering a all of the above perspective,
you know, I'm like a
including and
Hardy
especially acting.
If you need a perspective,
I'll write it down
Castro.
and send it to you.
Right on a note.
Now I'm giving you some acting perspective and my Wes Anderson take on his style because I really saw a lot of it in this one.
I got a lot of acting questions for you today.
Ask away.
Well, not now.
Mr. Michael Lalo, offering
I'm-
a cinematography perspective.
I'm really excited.
Look at him. Look at his hat.
There's just a solo camera.
Tell us
It's
He
what
was
you did.
so excited.
This
today.
is
What's your
his
date
lunchbox.
Huh?
Tell us about your
Oh
day.
my God, I had the best day.
He did.
Tell us about
I
today.
had the best day. I feel like I was gonna say
Everything
something
was going
bad.
good.
I feel like my wish came true. I got a hot dog. I got my Wes Anderson hat on.
Your lunchbox.
There's like alcohol in here. We just watched a Wes Anderson film and we're gonna have a month of it. And then we got shakes. And,
And you
like-
still got your
shakes.
girlfriend?
and I still got my girlfriend, and she hasn't left yet, even though she's tried. But I ran over her bike. Like, it's just great. Like, this is just, I'm having a great time.
You sure are.
Well, you
pal.
picked a great film today, man.
Aw,
Picked a great film. Picked a great director. We're gonna cover him.
am I gonna get off the next episode? Why is today going so well? Like,
Buddy.
is it just, am I getting
want,
made?
Do you want another shake?
You know that shake?
We'll get you a
How
shake.
about a foot long?
You're make-a-wishing me.
Jeez.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Austin Young giving
I
us a
love this
producing
guy.
editing perspective and make sure we're sounding good on the ones and twos.
This is the guy you cannot like. You know?
Austin. I don't think that means what you think it means.
This is the type of guy you cannot like.
It doesn't get better.
Phrasing that.
didn't get
more
Not
negative.
like.
There we go.
This is
double
not a
negative.
guy you
Austin,
can
you edit
hate.
the shit. Put that extra not.
We should give a shout out to Mr. Eric C.K. Nunez, who couldn't be here today, our fellow producer as well.
Where you at?
But you've been seeing all the shorts on social media, haven't you? They're pretty
Yeah.
great. He's been cutting some stuff. We're putting it out there,
Yeah.
having some fun.
Oh, you know what? Earlier today, my like buddies from high school, they just like post random memes and all that kind of stuff. And like I'm the worst one in the group chat. Like I will never respond or anything. Like I'm part of it.
Oh, we know.
Well, anyway, I'm part of it, and like they'll post reels and everything. And then I saw like like the page of the reel that they shared from, and it was like Tower Prod. I'm like, what the heck?
What?
They shared a Tower thing.
Was it one of your promos?
It was one of like the promos, and they were like, "Oh man, like we haven't heard from Mike in ages. Like I wonder how he's doing." And like, yeah, it was through a promo. I also realized that I sound like a jackass. Like, but I mean,
Why? What were you talking about?
it was when we were talking about Zodiac, and I've had a very conscious thing that I'm trying to get better when it comes to like talking about any subject, that I'm taking my time processing my words so I don't say the word like, and a lot. It's hard, but we're getting through it. And I noticed that in the reels, like, damn it.
Go on.
I noticed in the reels that it's a very difficult thing to do, but I'm getting better.
Oh shit! She was in this movie.
No.
They can't see that. That's going to be nonsensical.
What's up with Carlos? What's up with Carlos the whole fucking day, bro?
It's a spicy.
Kobe-ing it from
You know
everywhere,
what?
bro.
I just realized
Kobe.
something. It feels. Oh, I spilled. So it feels like we're on a talk
Did
show.
you just spill on the new couch?
Yeah.
No, I was on
So-
his jeans.
Mr. Wet Jeans, they'll call me.
Mr. Little Jeans. Yeah, no, as far as the reels go, I'll also give a shout out to that regard with, we had a meeting, we had a little sit down with a fellow filmmaker. His name's Carlos.
Shout out to Carlos.
Alfonso Corral.
Guaron?
No. Corral. He's the other Corral, if you will.
You mean he's the other Carlos?
Sure. That too.
What other Corral do we know?
I'm not talking about Carlos Corral, the one you know. I'm talking about the other one who we interviewed on this podcast.
Listen here, young lady. Next time you bring up people that I don't know, make sure I know that I don't know them.
Anyways, he's a fellow filmmaker from El Paso.
You cannot not know them.
Lived in LA for however long, and him and his wife are avid viewers of the podcast. So we appreciate you guys checking that out.
Oh, I know that guy.
You do. We interviewed him on this
Yeah.
podcast.
Why didn't you open
Finally.
with that?
I did.
No, you didn't bring up his wife. Then I would have known who it was.
His wife wants us to know that she was our 100th subscriber.
Oh,
And what's her name?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
It really has been a while since we did that interview,
But
and it
thank
slipped
you.
in my mind. But thank you.
No, thank you guys because I know that when Carlos came back and he was telling us about the whole encounter, that it was mentioned little details of the
Yeah,
podcast where I was like, oh, you
actual-
really do
yeah.
participate. And anybody who listens to the podcast and watches us, we really appreciate it because
We're very grateful.
not that we're trying to do this for all the attention and recognition, but we do this because we love this.
Yeah.
And the fact that people can join in and feel like they're part of a community that just it makes us really happy. So
Absolutely. So thank you, Carlos and Wifey. We appreciate you.
Carlos and Wifey.
And no, I'm telling you, he was quoting
love.
stuff from the podcast. It was the coolest thing ever.
that's
it
when
was
you
really
know
heartwarming.
for sure that yeah.
So you're in for a treat. We're here to talk about Wes Anderson's not directorial debut. This is his second film.
Asteroid City.
His
No,
sophomore?
we talked about that one. You can go back to that episode though and check out the Asteroid City
Yeah,
episode. That
let's
was
go.
our Oscar snub episode last year or 2 years ago. We're here to talk about it's a sophomore film. Wes Anderson's sophomore film, 1998's Rushmore, co-written by Wes Anderson and Owen Wilson, his college buddy.
That's pretty cool.
And apparently,
Yeah,
elementary
his
school buddy.
childhood buddy. I mean, they go way back. Grew up in Houston. Went to UT together, and then, Luke Wilson, who was the lead of his freshman film. His
See, I don't
directorial
understand
debut.
that. If why doesn't Owen Wilson come out in his videos and just
I think at the time Owen was actually seeking to be more of a writer director than
Did he
he
wanna
was
be in
seeking.
front?
He went to film school.
because he came out in Bottle Rocket, but he just never.
Yeah, but he kind of played the friend, right, or the brother. Is it brother? I think they
the
are
brother,
brothers, right? They are
yeah,
brothers.
yeah.
Kind of like the wild card brother in Bottle Rocket, which I really enjoyed. I really enjoy Bottle Rocket. It's been up there for me. We sadly won't be covering it this month, but we.
Why not his
Because
directorial debut?
we might have a special month next year,
Yeah.
and it's going to be reserved for that.
Yeah. We definitely are looking at that. So
But it will be covered. Any movie
Yeah.
can be covered on this podcast.
absolutely. But I remember watching Bottle Rocket and feeling like you start to notice these little Wesisms, as we call them. But then you hit to Rushmore and Flood.
Right
You
on the
know,
nose,
like,
yeah.
Genuinely, his voice was coming on a lot stronger.
And I'd say he took a huge leap from his rookie to his sophomore one.
I did feel though that you start seeing an interesting growth in his filmography because it's almost like I was just thoroughly pleased and enjoyed the fact that this Wes Anderson film, like Bottle Rocket to an extent, felt like a Texas filmmaker making a film.
You were mentioning that. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, look,
Texas
Wes
filmmaker.
is from Houston. So is Owen Wilson. So is Luke Wilson, and they shot this in their hometown of Houston, and you start to. I guess I compare it to kind of quirky offbeat films like if you guys have ever seen Whip It, a Drew Barrymore film about the Houston the rollerbladers, the
Wow.
roller derby girls. I really love that film as a depiction of what Texas film could be. And Rushmore felt like that. Like it could be anywhere USA. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Which makes it relatable and makes it universal. But when you grow up in Texas and when you grow up in East Central Texas, like I did, you start to see what pointed that out to me. And this one was like the foliage and the trees and the playground in the back of the school. Like all those shots was like the tan plastic playground and the big trees and just all of the green, because that's what East Texas and Central Texas is. So you can tell, like, if you grew up in Texas, you know it's Texas. And I like that a lot. And obviously Wes has evolved for his pictures looking more French. He went from like Texas to like Indian cinema to like straight up French cinema. And I like that these first few films are still depicting like where he came from and how he saw the world. And I really appreciate that. So I really appreciated that about Rushmore because we're in this constant battle. I mean, as an example, I won't say too much about this, but we're applying for a grant right now. And part of the appeal of the grant is like any other grant, and this isn't gatekeeping, like you guys should do this. You want to let people know that you're a fresh voice in cinema. And the thing you're trying to convince people is there's no representation of a voice like me. And not in a cocky way, but in the sense of like, hey, look, there's very barely Texas filmmakers that are making a big splash anymore.
Okay. Not
only that, there's very few Mexican-American filmmakers making a big splash. And when you put those two together, that's where you get El Paso filmmakers. And that's kind of the conversation we're having when we're applying for grants of like, hey, this is a unique perspective. We're offering a unique voice, something that's othered in filmmaking, something that's kind of shoved aside. And what I like about Wes Anderson is you would have never guessed that he's from Texas. You know, as he progresses in his career, you appreciate that.
Even when I first got into him, and I feel like I had the intro that a lot of the younger generation seems to have, which is Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Sure.
And then looking into more of his filmography, I expected to see more animations. I didn't expect to see a very broad stroke of filmmaking and stories. And even now, which we'll get into later on, the films he's making, you would never expect that, again, he would be so grounded. But then when you watch something like this early work, his sophomore film, it feels like it could be in your backyard. And there's something really charming about that. Yeah. And the person from your backyard going on to make something of the likes of Asteroid City, which I love. And, his shorts, which we got to talk about at some point.
It reignites rather this love I have.
We've talked about Asteroid City, buddy.
No, I'm saying his shorts.
Oh.
It reignites, anytime I see a film like this, it reignites my love for cinema all over again, because when I fell in love with cinema, I think, like, if I could go back to the first memory of, like, I think this is different. This is cinema, whatever that means. It was like when I saw Juno, you know, in early Jason Reitman films. So, like, looking at Juno, I feel like Rushmore had, like, a Juno Napoleon Dynamite Whip It thing.
Yeah, and Napoleon Dynamite for sure stood out.
It's in there, right? And it's, again, these quirky kind of indie comedy, dramedy type of situations, but with a West flavor. And it reignites a love for cinema in me that I remember watching something like this and feeling like, well, we can do that. You know, we can do that. We really can make these backyard films that, if you put an original spin on, could be something really special. And I think Wes does that in spades. Not just that, but as I understand it correctly, if you pay attention to Wes's filmography, and this isn't uncommon, filmmakers will move to the place that they're trying to tell the story about, or where it takes place for for a year, for a couple years. And Wes does that. The reason why his cinema now is so French is because he's been living in France for the past 10 years. He's been living in Paris. He's a Paris national now, or whatever. Like, he's been living there for a long time. And before that, he did live in India for a long time. And his love for Indian culture you can see in a lot of his films. So bringing it back to Rushmore, it's somebody who grew up in Texas, went to college in Texas, and is going to make kind of a Texas thing. And but not force it down your throats. You know? Really
this film, compared to like his other films, is the most autobiographical in a way, because this was filmed at the school that he went to. Yeah. He describes himself like Max. He just described himself always having a hobby and an interest and loving like the plays and theater. And even though he had like all this charisma there, was never able to find himself when it came to academia. And he just wanted to kind of write a story about that kid and the trials and tribulations of wanting to be greater than you are, but feeling stuck and being kind of ashamed of where you came from, but finding at the end acceptance in yourself and your strengths. Like,
it's important to note that that the character that Dalal is mentioning is Max. Played by the great Jason Reitman, who Schwartzman, Jason Schwartzman, who this was his film debut.
And what a debut, man!
He plays Max Fischer, who's a student at Rushmore Academy, a private school that is his life. He's started clubs in this school. He's adopted every extracurricular that's possible, and then made some when there wasn't enough for him, because I think I think he's doing it to escape the death of his mother. And that's really what sets him off, to keep him busy and to be better and to seek what he can't understand, because his mom dies at 7 years old, and when you encounter death at such a young age, you try to figure out why. You try to figure out what that means. And I think that just sets the character of Max into this wormhole, this rabbit hole of life in general. Like, if I want to know the answer to everything, I can know the answer to. And I think that's just kicked off by the curiosity of death. That's how I kind of started drawing from his character. But yeah, Jason Schwartzman plays him brilliantly. Bill Murray also stars in this. Olivia Williams, also Brian Cox, who I think is a great, funny character, the Dr. Nelson Guggenheim.
Yeah.
Luke Wilson makes this small part in this film as well. But it's a great cast. But Jason Schwartzman and Bill Murray, a super young Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great. I had seen him in young things, not like this.
Yeah, where he's genuinely a kid.
Yeah.
Also, for any director, I mean, I don't know the whole working relationship of how they met each other.
I do.
But
do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Jason Schwartzman, there was a nationwide casting call. They went to multiple private schools in the Massachusetts area, the New England area, and they just couldn't find him. And then he auditioned. He came in for a run-of-the-mill audition, and he wore a blazer of a private school, and he made a Rushmore patch himself.
Really?
And that's what caught Wes's attention. Not only that, but most people don't know, Jason Schwartzman is Francis Ford Coppola's nephew. Like Nicolas Cage.
Like Nick Cage, yeah.
Jason Schwartzman
they're at the same Christmas party?
Yeah, they're at the same family Christmas party. But Schwartzman didn't throw out his weight when it came to Coppola being his uncle.
That's good.
He went and auditioned, and they liked him, and ultimately that's how he became Wes's kind of one of Wes's go-to actors. They've made multiple pictures together similar to Bill Murray. This was Bill Murray's first Wes Anderson film also, and he's a Wes regular. Jason Schwartzman kind of came in run-of-the-mill audition, but Bill Murray read the script, got the script, and I love this story because I think it's true to form what we're going through right now. Bill Murray gets the script. He loves it so much that he tells his agent at the time, like, I'll do it for free. I don't even care. Like, I just want to be in this. This is such a clever script, and I want to play this character. And he came to set, and he didn't like Jason Schwartzman. and then eventually they grew fond of each other as the film progressed. And but what I like about this story is that Bill Murray basically, Wes couldn't believe that he got Bill Murray. It's the great Bill Murray. He's starstruck. And he kind of would give his directions in like a whispering, like, Mr. Murray, can you please do this?
Really?
And Bill said, hey, dude, no. Like, I'm your actor. Let's make a film. Like, I need you to, like, and he just, like, he gave Wes so much confidence to be a director. And, true to form, they've made how many films together now?
Yeah.
See,
really,
when I watched this film,
he empowered him,
I could kind of tell like why people want to work with him, even when like such low pay, because the dialogue is so beautiful, man. It's almost like theatrical, right? But you're as an actor, when you want to ask some acting questions. When I see that, I think the trick is to Wes Anderson's dialogue is to not make it seem like you're acting, but to let the characters pour out the emotions without effort.
Right.
And with watching this one and a couple of Wes Anderson's films, I love his dialogue. I'm really, really loving his dialogue.
I think we talked about this on the Asteroid City episode, but to your point, I mean, look at the cast that he got for just Asteroid City, right? It's Bill Murray, Tom Hanks, fucking Scarlett Johansson, Adrian Brody, all these guys, Jason Schwartzman. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we said something about the actors get paid scale on a Wes Anderson film. They don't get paid shit.
And I'm assuming like they can't improv this stuff, right? Because I'm not sure.
It's very on book.
Precise. You can't go.
Yeah, and I think Wes, because of the products that he's made, has garnered the respect where then when people go on to his sets, they know they're coming onto a Wes Anderson set. That's the biggest thing I've heard is that everybody from a PA to the lead talent knows you're on a Wes Anderson set. You need to act a certain way,
and I'm understanding what that is.
And on top of that, I know that there was an interview recently with Adrian Brody and Jason Schwartzman because they were on an A24
Yeah, the
podcast.
A24 podcast. That
And
was
they were
great.
saying
I
how
gotta see that.
they hadn't had a chance to like talk with each other genuinely in a while, because even though that they were on like Asteroid City together,
Yeah.
they said, yeah, but when you're there, it's different. Everybody turns their brain to like, we need to act like we're on a Wes Anderson set. Like everybody's very proper, and they all give the wind of Wes Anderson because of the culture he's created.
But isn't there a sense, like we talked about this on the last Wes Anderson episode on this one on Asteroid City, that he also creates like this summer camp environment.
Yeah, it's like a
that's
summer
cool.
camp.
Yeah.
And there's
like,
got to be a sense of like let my hair down. No, like
he takes a lot of like from everything I've seen, he's very receptive to working with the actors, and they know what he's trying to pull out of it. But
there's still a sense of reverence.
yeah,
and,
because even in this, like Robert Yeoman, I think this was his first time working with Wes, and now Robert Yeoman's like Wes's main
this is the
cinematographer.
guy, yeah.
Yeah. And that cinematographer, I mean, I think started creating some of those Wesisms.
Sure.
The like very precision dolly across and these very precise frames and landing in certain spots. All that to later on make his other films that are a heightened version of that precision.
Yeah, for sure. And then you end up getting more resources as things go by, and can use these techniques in a much more precise way and shit like that. But you did see a lot of the Wesisms, like a lot of the symmetry started coming into play.
The dialogue.
The dialogue for sure.
The blocking just with the cigarette.
Yeah,
I love that where it's
that's a
just,
French
you're
thing.
not feeling it. And
yeah.
then,
That's a French thing, a very French thing, French new wave thing. But what I like about this era of Wes right now is that the Wesisms are still very imperfect.
There's
what do you mean?
They're
by
so
that?
What
organic.
I-
They're so much more organic than
Yeah.
like the symmetrical shots and I mean like
That's why,
yeah.
and I didn't mean to like cut you off, but when that whole trend was going on, sorry, like my life as a Wes Anderson movie and all
Yeah,
that.
they brought it back for Cannes.
Really?
Yeah, they brought that
that's
trend back for Cannes,
hilarious. I loved that it was people recognizing Wes Anderson and his
Right.
style and how unique and quirky it is. But I also feel like the reason nobody else can make a Wes Anderson film and the reason we're talking about him as an auteur is because there is something really unique about the way he does things. It's not just about symmetry. It's not just about these perfect blocking. It's so much more. And to me, it's a bunch of people trying to act proper and polite in moments of absolute chaos and absurdity.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's what I've enjoyed about all of his films. It's people trying to maintain order, and everybody needs to be polite, and we all need to do things the right way. But the world's on fire. An alien just showed
especially
up.
I
with
love
Max.
that you're saying that. I think that maybe that's why this is so very autobiographical.
Yes.
Because Wes Anderson is a director. I mean, that's what directing is. You have to lead the crew into battle. And I love the line that Max says when they're talking about like Bill Murray's character, and he falls in love with his teacher, and the teacher says, "Well, this man, he crushed your bike. He did this. Why would a man do something like that?" And he says, "Men do weird things when they're at war." and I think that filmmaking is war to an extent, and Wes Anderson as a storyteller will come in with a proper 3-piece suit to direct a film in the middle of the desert and try to still direct and be proper and stuff like that in the midst of chaos. But I think it's interesting that you point that out, that Wes is the character of Max in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And even just in his own filmmaking,
even
he's
if
very
you look-
unique, and everybody in filmmaking almost like you either love him or you're like, it's a bit much,
Like when you have a chance, when you can see like a young picture of like Wes, he looks
Does he really?
exactly like Max. The glasses, the like spiky hair and everything. And that's what he was going for. And again, it's this kid that like ever since that character of Max was like written in and created, every film has had a Max. Or every film, all the
Sure,
characters have
sure.
become Max.
I saw that in Bottle Rocket. Bottle Rocket, Owen Wilson's character is the one that's the Max.
Where they're dealing with absurdity,
Yeah.
but they're always trying to be in control and formal, and it's unique. It's super, super unique.
There's a picture that I looked at. I'm sure I've sent this picture to you. That like Scorsese had very good things to say about Rushmore. It's what opened his eyes to Wes, and and he really loved his films kind of moving forward. And Rushmore was his favorite though. And there's a picture of Scorsese and Wes Anderson talking in like a kitchenette area. Like, you know, it's like a break room for, I don't know, a fucking soundstage or like an editing bay or something.
Right.
And they're in this kitchenette area, and Marty's standing by like one of the countertops, and he's just kind of leaning on and talking to Wes. And Wes is sitting on the countertop. Like in a very playful, and he still has like his spiky hair.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even have the long hair that he has yet, but he's got spiky hair, and he's wearing all white, and he's sitting on a kitchen countertop talking to a master of cinema.
Hey.
Like that's just Wes. Can you pull that picture up, Austin? You pull two pictures up, young Wes Anderson, and Scorsese and Wes Anderson talking, just like type that. So looking at young Wes, there he is. Yeah. So yeah, there it is. You know, that's Marty and Wes Anderson
so funny.
just talking in some kitchenette. But look at him; he's sitting, and then you can. I see what you're saying about him being like him looking like Max for sure. Yeah,
It's so humble. I don't know.
Yeah.
Even look at that bottom corner one,
yeah,
like the black
left,
and white.
right? The variety one.
See, I feel like
Yeah, look at him. There's
with
Max.
Anderson films, I feel like he kind of looks for the actors to not overplay his characters.
Oh,
I
to
feel-
play it straight.
Yeah, because you don't want to kind of overshadow the script. You know, I
Yeah.
think that's one of the things I've learned from acting is that sometimes you got to just take directions without not really understanding,
Sure.
but just trusting on your director. I think that's one of my fascinations with Anderson right now is that I've never worked with a director who's like really strict. And I'm I like how you are with you're a little loosey goosey with your script, and you let me kind of like
Sure.
Yeah, Austin. Please. Thank you.
What?
We didn't have to stop for that. I just wanted a water. I'm sorry.
Oh.
need water.
Anyways,
I was a little thirsty.
no, yeah,
I'm
I see what you're
sorry.
saying, Custer. Like, kind of getting to a structured.
Yeah, it's just so fascinating because obviously his dialogue, to me, it has kind of this old, polished type of, almost like it's been recited, like it's supposed to be recited, but
It's proper.
yeah. It's you have to put your acting touch into it.
And I think-
it's a play,
Yeah.
but it's being painted on film.
And I think
Have
that's why his newest films, A French Dispatch and Asteroid City, have really climbed fast to be some of my favorites of his because he's not only adopted that and turned it into technical writing. What I mean by technical writing is it's a thing within a thing, and you're aware that that's the thing in the sense that
Yeah.
French Dispatch is about a newspaper, and the writing is going to be like news articles and like newspaper writers writing about the chapter that we're in. That's technical writing. That's not artistic writing necessarily. And then Asteroid City, it's in the perspective of like scientists and in a sense, and kind of exploring the human condition via this scientific phenomenon with a lot of everymen, but at the same time, a lot of very smart scientists. So
Yeah.
there's that technical writing has to come into play, and that's how Wes uses exposition. That's how he uses exposition in the most expositional way, but through technical writing in a very proper manner.
Like what I love about in Asteroid City, the way that they open up, where the playwright
Yeah.
is talking about what he wants the landscape to be for Asteroid City, and he says it's a dry area with a rest stop and a road that's not finished, and it's very,
Yeah.
very technical. But as technical as it is, even the way he says, and for the lighting design, the sun is always present, always harsh, but it's clean, it's neutral, it's just factual.
Yeah.
But all that ends up becoming a character piece.
Sure,
you know?
sure. No, yeah,
And
absolutely.
I can imagine that even in the character descriptions for the scripts, it's the same exact like technical
So
fact
meta.
and charts and like
It's so
saying
meta,
the
yeah.
weight of a character and all that just to show you that they exist in this perfect little form.
And I think that's what knocked me for a loop when I first saw Bottle Rocket, because that's not Bottle Rocket. It's not what Bottle Rocket is. And Rushmore is starting to lean into that kind of
Exactly.
skid, but it's not. They're very grounded. Rushmore and Bottle Rocket are very grounded. They're not super technical. They're telling a pretty grounded story. Not that the other ones aren't, but the other ones are in the ether. You know, Asteroid City
I
is in
feel
the
like
ether.
it like Rushmore is if you were able to pluck like one of the West universe characters and just pop them into the real world.
Yeah.
Where everybody else is perfectly normal and it's like, how do we deal with this kid? Like, I think that's where a lot of the comedy comes from, is that
Sure.
how do you deal with a kid who's, he's being polite and being proper and he's acting very mature
He's
for his
way
age.
ahead of his time.
But,
and I think that arc is so good, man.
Yeah.
That arc is so good because
You want to real quick give
Yeah.
ratings and then we can
I
jump
think
straight
you're
into
gonna love me, man. I think Wes Anderson is, with this one alone, jumped up.
wow.
Dude, I'm amazed by the dialogue.
By
the
this one.
blocking and the dialogue. Just what the actor has to go through.
Yeah.
Sorry, man, for anything I've ever said about Wes Anderson. I want to take this time to apologize to Delo.
Yeah.
He is really a good really good director.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
And it's amazing to see a sophomore film, right?
Yeah,
Because, I mean, I feel like a lot of us in the, the shorts we're making and, the features that we're trying to produce right now, you're still feeling like, I hope that I can get to a place where I'm finding that voice. I'm finding that thing in my own work.
Yeah.
And
I think I told you guys a story that Tarantino recently said a story, Robert Rodriguez told a story on the Rogan podcast about Tarantino where, like, he's finishing up Pulp Fiction and he's shopping it around. And he's showing it to his director friends and everybody doesn't get it. Everybody's like, this isn't the one. And Robert asked Tarantino about Pulp Fiction and Tarantino says, it's a movie that Quentin would make. And Robert's like, what's wrong with that? Like, you're an amazing storyteller. Of course. No, but it's not a real movie. It's a movie that Quentin would make.
Damn.
And it blew Robert's mind. He's like, what do you mean? We need a film that Quentin would make. And, the rest is history, right? Pulp Fiction becomes a smash. But I think when we talk about Wes Anderson in that regard, it's like you're finding your voice. And when you're starting out in features, you're starting to figure out, like, no, that's how you feel. It's not a real one. It's not the real one yet.
yeah.
And that's not up to you. I
Yeah.
don't think that's up to you.
No, yeah, absolutely. Because
As a director, anyways, it's not up to you. That's for the audience to decide whether it's got something to say and that type of thing. And I think Rushmore's got something to say. I'm happy to report that Rushmore's top 5 for me.
Really?
Wes Anderson top 5.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yes.
It's I think a lot of people, when you're getting into Wes Anderson and you're going through his filmography,
Yeah.
once anybody hits the chapter of like, yeah, I'm gonna try Rushmore now. I think everybody's most excited for that one because it's almost like it's like the birthplace. I mean,
I was about to say that.
Yeah,
It's like this is when
it started. Like, sure, Bottle Rocket. It's a freshman film, so in a way, it's also Wes discovering how to make features.
He, if I'm not mistaken, even Bottle Rocket's based on a short proof of concept.
Yeah,
type
he
of
made
thing,
he made a short in college,
Yeah.
and then later on,
made the feature.
See, this is what's fascinating about those directors. You see the rookie and the sophomore album
Yeah.
movies, and that's what you gotta like analyze how he took the leap, what he did different.
Well, it's like I tell you, I think like directors, I'm starting to pick up that good directors start to pick up that mentality of like my John Mayer theory on albums. Like the first one,
That's a good one.
Get their attention. The second one,
doing
keep
this
their
with Wes,
attention.
for
Third
sure.
one, crush them. And his third one is Royal Tenenbaums.
I think you're gonna like my
Yeah.
rating.
Yeah.
well, let's go around. Let's go around with Austin. I'd like to go
Austin.
clockwise.
All the way from Austin City. Because you're all the way over there.
My cousin Austin from Boston. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? I like long walks on the beach.
And even longer man. How you doing?
Wait, what?
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
I don't like where you place this light. I can't see my man's. I can't see him. There we go.
They can see him.
Go.
No, that's not.
Oh, shit.
Son of a bitch. Give your rating.
What is your rating, good sir?
8.7.
8.7.
Nice. What was your favorite part?
The Bill Murray when he stands up.
Yeah,
That was
you
great.
really like that one.
Yeah, that was great.
Me, man, I'll give it a 9.2.
9.2.
Because now I'm noticing once you start seeing a Wes
That's
Anderson
what
film.
all you were doing was just talking shit before the podcast.
About the film?
Yeah.
Was it good?
What?
You were like throwing some like oil in the
Oh,
water.
you were. Because we just talked about David Fincher. And you
Oh,
were
we're
like-
playing around.
Yeah, of
mostly
course.
towards the end.
Of course.
But no, yeah, man. Every time you like start watching a Wes Anderson film, now I'm starting to feel like, yeah, I'm getting into a new universe,
Yeah.
new language,
Sure.
and Rushmore really opened my eyes to this guy's, art tourism, his the way he writes it and the way he gets his actors to just play it the way he wants them to play it. I'm fascinated right now with this film right now. 9.2 for sure.
Awesome. Do you also feel like this
Go to his
would
filmography.
be the good introduction to Wes Anderson? Like we've talked about it with other films, but
Yeah,
I feel like
sure.
for somebody who's like, I don't like, I would not show him French Dispatch off the bat.
No.
And I remember when we watched French Dispatch in the theaters, it was like, this is amazing, but what just happened?
Yeah.
It's like, that one's like, I'll describe it like a $300 bottle of wine. Like, there's too much in there, and there's too much
many
profile.
notes.
And if you just drink it, you're going to be like, I don't get why I just spent $300.
Yeah.
This is your,
yeah, it's true. It's true.
this is your 15.
Yeah.
I'll say this: don't start off with Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, that one I feel like it would be like the third one because I remember that's how I knew who Wes Anderson was, and I didn't want to watch it because I didn't like that type of style.
Yeah.
But now you show me this,
Yeah.
you got a big fan for life.
this is palatable. This is like, I get it now. Like, right?
And I know, I like Fantastic Mr. Fox, but I just don't think that's one, two, or third.
Sure.
Yeah.
9.2.
9.2, man.
Carlos?
I'm thinking about this one. I think Rushmore probably sits in like. I need to analyze if it's top 3 because for me right now,
Same.
My
You said
for
top
sure
5, I
my
was like,
top
top
2
3.
are Grand Budapest Hotel, Asteroid City. French Dispatch is probably 3. Rushmore is
seen that
probably 4. And I really want to give another chance to Darjeeling Limited now.
Which we will.
I feel like Darjeeling's probably going to be 5. And for a long time since film school, people have been telling me to watch Royal Tenenbaums. And like Francisco is convinced that Royal Tenenbaums will be my favorite Wes Anderson film ever.
I've been told that too. And I mean, I don't think so, but it's because in every one of his films, I think something new is communicated.
Yeah.
And you'll find something that speaks to you because I don't gush over like the style. I gush over the fact that he's exploring a theme in a way that his style complements. And
I think Wes Anderson is a Rubik's cube of a man. You know, like he's shifting through the colors to get to the end, right? But as he's shifting through the colors, you start to see the patterns. You start to see these 3 lines start connecting, and then but we're gonna reshift it, and then eventually all 5 lines will start connecting. And I think he's gotten so much better at that, which is why Asteroid City for me is massively impressive. It almost beats out Grand Budapest, but Grand Budapest I think is more layered than people give it credit for, and it's got so much more to say, but it's also very palatable. That being said, because Rushmore does feel for me like it hits a real soft spot in my cinephile journey and in my journey as a filmmaker of these indie darlings, these quirky indie darlings, and he's got the Texas thing, and it's just it does hit a lot of nerves for me in a very biased way, but at the same time, it's a really weird exploration, man. Like, Austin and I were kind of cracking jokes about it, but like Rushmore is this exploration of mommy issues, but in a very layered, complex way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could relate to that. You know, I could relate to that, and I could relate to like, again, half jokingly, but like liking older women. I always dated older
Surprisingly
women.
very relatable.
Yeah, dated older women. My wife's older than me, for shit like that, and just like being that kid in school. Like the law made a joke, or like,
That's the
was
big
this
thing.
you in Dallas? And it's like, yeah, kind of, but this was me in high school. This was me at the tail end of high school and getting into college of like, you know, trying to be the smart kid in the room and trying to be very proper and trying to be older and trying to be more mature.
even the way that they have to interact with like adults, because I mean, like
Yeah.
the fact that he gets all this permitting and everything done for the aquarium.
I wasn't believing it, but wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the way he talks himself up and
Yeah.
talks up everybody.
Yeah.
Like when he starts up clubs, it's not like it's the Kite Flyers Association. It's like, okay, so you're the chairman, vice president. Like, what have you done for today, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's
It's relatable
He's
to
supposed to
me.
be a
Like it
15-year-old.
does feel. I do connect with it. Like I said, it hits a lot of personal nerves.
Same.
But because it is top 5 and it is my first time screening it, just on the first screening, I'll give this a 9.
9. Okay.
Give this a 9, and I'm even almost inclined to give it like an 8.9.
Nah,
because
why-
I know.
why?
I'll give it a 9. It's fair. It's a first screening.
But why even mention that?
Well, because he's grown. as a storyteller.
True.
And my favorite films of his are the more complex ones. But it's like Delao says, it sounds very prissy coming from us, but like you do develop your palate. And when you develop your palate for wine, you really can start discerning certain notes. We've experienced that with spirits and whiskeys and cigars. It isn't just a pretentious bullshit thing. The more you do it, the more you explore different flavors and different for your palate, you become more well versed in those areas. So a $300 bottle of wine is, you can tell the difference, but you can't tell the difference if you've never had a glass of wine in your life. And I think for Wes Anderson, that's kind of the thing for me right now is I'd give it almost like an 8.9 because as great as it is and as much as it struck a nerve with me, I also have to accept that as a storyteller, he's grown so much more, and he's way more complex of a storyteller than he was when he made Rushmore. And it would be a shame to not recognize that. So 9.
Cool.
So quick. What are your top 5? My top 3 are Royal Tenenbaums, Asteroid City, Rushmore.
Wow.
And I've only watched it once, and I've only been living with it for 30 minutes right now.
But I
really liked it, man.
Yeah, man.
Because for surprisingly, I found it relatable. You don't have to be a snotty prep school kid to,
And it's
to relate to a lot of this guy.
No, you just have to have been a kid.
Who hasn't been blinded by something they really wanted?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I can definitely relate to that.
Also, just like we all have to go through an awkward developing phase.
Yeah.
And I was
Oh my
talking,
God, now you're
I was
making me remember
talking with Austin about this earlier that I feel like I'm going through another one in filmmaking.
Oh, that's dope.
But I know that there was times, especially like when I first joined like the Tower group, and I was like getting out of school, but trying to prove to people like I can do this, I can hang.
Yeah.
And you're going through like an awkward phase where everybody in the room knows that you're like still a kid trying to figure it out, but you're like, no, like give me a chance, let me push myself forward. And then the cracks will always show where it's kind of like, oh, okay, you didn't know how to do that. Like you just need a little more seasoning. And I love the character of Max. He's so complex. He's got so much in him that you want to connect to and you want to hug, but you also feel like it's almost like you're able to laugh at yourself in the past, and you're able to like laugh at the whole absurdity of like
for sure.
the fact that when they have the meet cute where he's sitting there with the professor and he's like, she says, oh, I went to Harvard. He's like, whoa, what a fun coincidence.
That's my safety school.
That's my safe choice next to like Oxford and something else.
Yeah.
And then plus when she says, I did Latin American studies, like, the dead language. And he's like, oh no, like South America. And he's
well,
like,
that's cute. Bringing it back to the dead
yeah,
language.
bringing it back to Latin, which I'm saving.
That deadpan comedy is
so
awesome, dude.
But it is a kid trying, that's a kid trying to almost
I've done that.
a kid who's flushing away his potential, at least academically, because he's failing all his classes and shit like that, but he's still the smartest kid in the room. But he's the smartest kid in the room with other shit.
Yeah.
And he literally fantasizes about being the smartest, literally dreams about solving the world's most complicated equation, and that's his dream.
Yeah.
But it's not because he wants to be a
and
math
We've all
genius.
done that. We've all done that.
Yeah.
But it's not because he wants to be a math genius. It's because he wants to impress the people he's in the room with, and it seems like the people he wants to impress are adults.
Chicks.
He can hang with adults. I think that's kind of the big thing.
Yeah.
So the minute somebody shows him up, like the Luke Wilson character, he's
because
immediately threatened.
Yeah, because he always is lying that his father's a neurosurgeon. And then when he meets I'm an actual doctor.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, well, why didn't you come dressed for the occasion? Oh, these are my OR scrubs. Oh, are they?
Yeah.
And just kinda like-
And I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. Again, it's just massively relatable on the coming of age story that is a lot more grounded than a lot of coming of age stories. It doesn't throw the Hollywood specs at you. It
I
throws
kept it the whole way.
Yeah, for sure. To answer your question, though, I think for me, it's number 1's Grand Budapest Hotel. Number 2 is Asteroid City. Number 3 is French Dispatch.
I haven't seen Versus.
Oh, we're gonna watch it, aren't we?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to end with it.
Number 4 is
Phoenician?
Rushmore.
You're putting 4 on Rushmore?
I'm gonna put Rushmore at 4, and I
Where are you putting Phoenician?
I don't know yet. We'll see. But I do think Darjeeling. The more I've thought about it, I remember at first watch, I was like, really? This? Like, because Dela was like, "You're gonna fucking love it. Like, this
No,
is you're gonna
No,
love
I'm
it."
with you.
That's
Yeah.
so. I'll give my rating real
Same with
quick, and then I'll
Aquatic.
give my little list.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna go an 8.3.
8.3.
8.3, not because I did not love every element of this film,
Yeah.
but only because he's grown so much from
Yeah.
this. And if this is like, let's say, the worst Wes can do in his filmography, it's damn good.
Yeah.
Like, that's
No,
what's so
yeah.
impressive for me.
It is. I like in Wes, and Wes has grown farther. He's gone farther and larger than a lot of filmmakers. Like at the time at Rushmore, I'd put Wes next to like Jason Reitman, you know, or Diablo Cody, or like these quirky writers, directors. But then you have someone like Jason Reitman do like Up in the Air, which is just a phenomenal picture. But he goes on to make big picture films like his dad, you know, Ghostbusters and stuff. And Wes Anderson went in the completely opposite direction. He went more of the auteur route, but with far more complicated stories, far more complex stories. So that's why I say he skyrocketed out of this indie kind of feel
On his bottle rocket.
on his bottle
Wow.
rocket. Yeah. 8.3.
8.3. Because...
I know that this is a sophomore and you're saying that he's grown, you know, throughout his, you know, career, but 8.3 still seems kind of low, even for someone. Would you put it on your top 5?
So my top 5 would be
Interesting.
Asteroid City, because I think right now that's the one that's spoken the
Yeah.
most to me.
Yeah.
Look at that.
What was that on your arm?
It's a mole.
I gotta get checked.
It's a square mole. It's a still from the movie, and it's got the aspect ratio, Asteroid City,
Show your
Wes
camera.
Anderson. Oh, damn it. I can't do that. Ugh.
Meg branded him.
Look at it. Yeah, so no, it's aspect ratio, Asteroid City by Wes Anderson, and then
Oh, that's true.
35 millimeter Kodak, and that's the still when the alien first shows up, and then they're looking through the little box.
That doesn't look like an alien.
Oh shit, Austin! I paid the artist,
to
and
my
she
tattoo
tried their best. No, I'd put Asteroid City up there.
Yeah.
I'd say number 2 for me, would probably be
Remember, this is the Wes Anderson guy right here.
Fantastic Mr. Fox, I think.
no.
Nah, see, I'm
No, I feel like Fantastic Mr. Fox would be number 5.
6 for me, somewhere around there.
I rewatched his shorts, but as the feature, and
Oh, shit.
I feel like for just exploration of style as an auteur, like I really want to put that up to like 2, and then after that put like Darjeeling, and then number 3 I'd probably put between French Dispatch and Life Aquatic, and then Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Wow, so Rushmore's not even on his top
It's not
5.
even in. Wow.
It's not even in the bracket.
No, but that's beautiful though. I guess, you know, our different styles. I guess.
I also feel like not to be that fan, but everything I see of his, the next one is just better. And it's not because
that's fucking
he's trying to make the same movie but hide in a style. It's just the fact that he's exploring more stories that his style complements so well.
Nice.
I saw that for sure in the shorts. I mean, especially the Tiger one.
Check that out.
But did you watch? You haven't seen the rest of them, right?
What's the short called? What is
'Cause
the,
we
Yeah,
ju-
no, I've seen all the shorts, but I didn't see them in the feature. Like,
Oh, okay.
What's the feature called?
The feature is the wonderful story of Henry Sugar.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard that. Okay.
If you go up, I think it says
it's
it
a
there.
Netflix release based on Roald Dahl
Yeah,
books.
the wonderful story of Henry Sugar and 3 more. So the story of Henry Sugar.
year.
These are all Roald Dahl
short
shorts.
stories.
And in the film, it
I have seen one of these. Oh, okay, yeah. I've seen Poison.
Yeah, we saw all of them, alone.
Ah,
we saw all of them for something.
yeah, I think we watched. them in
Poison
your
was pretty good.
We watched them in your theater, and then I
Yeah.
think that was building up
do.
to us watching the one that won the Oscar.
Yeah, you're right. You're
And that one, it's crazy because I think we watched all the shorts that year, and we saw some that were like real gems.
Yeah.
And then it was like, but of course, Wes is going to
Wes
take
Anderson,
a 40-minute
no shit,
slot.
yeah.
Like it's a 40-minute short film. It's like,
No, I agree though. I think the wonderful story of Henry Sugar. I mean, the Swan and the Ratcatcher and Poison. Poison was really good.
Yeah, I saw that one.
But the wonderful story of Henry Sugar. Holy fucking shit, man! Holy fucking shit!
Really?
Like, it's it's one of those things that
It's still Wes. It's still
I
Wes.
mean,
it's the
still Wes.
style.
It's
It's
still-
the
It
is
style
the
of
style.
Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Cranked to 20.
yeah.
Whoa.
Like,
but it's cranked to 20, but it's also
I don't know if that's how we
it's
want
also cheating a little bit because he treats it like theater. He treats these stories like theater.
That's one thing I'm liking about him.
But no, dude, but like cranked to 20 in the sense that the sets are changing in front of your eyes like theater. They're being
Digging it.
dragged
Yeah.
away.
I'm digging it.
They're, you know,
essentially, like, especially with one of them, it's one that's called, I think, Swan Wings or something like that, or
Wings.
something about the swan. Swan.
The
That that one is essentially a oneer, but goes through multiple locations and multiple characters and people popping out of.
Is it cheated?
Oh yeah. It's the field.
Is it a
Yeah.
cheated
It's
The
oneer?
field one. Yeah.
Is it a cheated oneer or a whole oneer?
No, it's probably cheated. I'm sure.
It's probably cheated, but I mean, genuinely, like that one was shot on a soundstage, so
Yeah,
the
yeah,
set was built,
Oh,
and
shit.
the characters are walking through different sections of it. The only thing that might have cheated is
Respect.
when they walk through one, they do a cut just so that way in the cut, the second later they come out in a new outfit, but
Yeah.
it doesn't lose a beat.
But the wonderful story of Henry Sugar, man. Like,
Can you look up the
Dude, I'm
Mont
becoming a
Blanc?
big fan of this
100
guy.
years of what's that one?
100 years of my
Short film commercial by Wes Anderson.
it's a commercial.
Can we pull that up?
It's a 3-minute. I mean, I guess they.
I got 3 minutes.
And it's Roman
During the
Coppola?
podcast, you got 3 minutes.
Yeah, I got 3 minutes. he comes out in it. This is amazing. What
It's like his American Express commercial.
can you hear? It?
It's so
I
Wes.
can't hear it. Well, Austin cues that up. I also love his American Express commercial.
No, and then I was saying they referenced it here.
The tracking, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
I overheard you guys talking about that.
yeah. So what happens is that in the American Express commercial, there's a tracking shot where people keep coming up to Wes
Yeah.
and being like, "Hey,
Do you like this drawing?
do you
or
like this?" And he's like, "Oh, it's
I've
pretty
seen it.
good."
I've seen it.
Hey, where's my sandwich? Oh, you're holding it. And then they're like, "Hey, I finished that prop. Hey, can you make this but with like a bayonet at the end?" And it's like a pistol. He's like, "I don't see why not." And they walk over and
I've
he's like,
seen that.
"Hey, I've been working on my line. Can I show you?" And it's like, "Sure." It's like, "Get him." And it's like, "What'd you think?" And he's like, "I need more emotion." And then it like
yeah,
keeps going on.
It's this one thing.
It's hilarious, but
that's
it's very much off of Rushmore when Max is walking through in that straight line and people are just coming up
Yeah.
to him.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I didn't know this. I didn't know if you guys noticed it. The law is the Wes Anderson
Fan.
expert, if you will. Apparently, one of Wes's staples I was reading, and it comes across here. I didn't really notice it. Was that he uses Charlie Brown?
Charlie Brown.
Charlie, either like a recreation of a Charlie Brown moment, or like the music from Charlie Brown, or like apparently it comes out in Rushmore pretty predominantly. I didn't see where, but apparently, like IMDb will list that as a Wes Anderson
Staple?
Wes Anderson signature.
Really?
Can you look that up, Austin, in the trivia where it says Wes Anderson,
You
Charlie
use
Brown. Charlie Brown. I don't know what I didn't notice it. I didn't pick up on it.
Maybe the music, but
Maybe it's because it was Christmas
Yeah.
for a good chunk of the film, or the winter.
winter.
Yeah.
Also, they do a play.
Yeah.
In Charlie Brown Christmas, they're putting on a play.
So maybe. Anyways,
yeah.
I've never noticed that in any of his films, but apparently it's a signature.
I wouldn't be.
That's my favorite part of the film, dude. The play, dude. What the?
The plays, all of the plays.
the play.
But how did he get what for his mother?
No,
the war one?
No,
the
because
fact
that's
that
a
he's-
nod to the fact that he's talking to the teacher that he loves.
yeah,
and,
but
like,
I'm
they
just-
connected on the dead relatives thing, and
It's kind of him paying homage to like honest beginnings and stuff like that.
I also
but
think
the
it's
fact
paying
that
homo-
again that juxtaposition, like it's for my late mother. Anyway,
Yeah.
cue the explosions.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you wanted to analyze that a little more, I think it's also like you lose a lot of loved ones during war,
And you gain more
and
after.
no, but he just went through what he defined as a war.
He did. You referenced that a
You
couple
know,
times. Really? That's okay.
I don't know. I mean,
I think you could put a lot of lenses and
Yeah.
they'll all work for it. Just because it's so layered. The characters are layered. I love exploring also like the Bill Murray character. Did we get it to work? What? Can I see it? Please.
Adventurous traveler.
Oh, I'm so excited.
We stand at the summit of Mont Blanc, the White Mountain, highest peak in the Alpine Arch, an inspiration for the first Mont Blanc fountain pen, designed over 100 years ago for the adventurous traveler who wants to leave his mark
Our first slogan
on the world, or her mark.
Originally, sorry, some of them they called it a safety pen, which I think means it has a cap so you don't get ink on your pocket.
Probably an invention from back before pens had caps on them.
Actually, it was designed with a retractable nib, which sealed the ink in reserve like a cork.
Ah, that clarifies.
Is that
The
Roman
Mont Blanc
Coppola?
flag,
Yeah, it was produced by, I saw Roman.
Let's go inside. The temperature has dropped 10 degrees in the last 15 minutes.
Celsius or centigrade?
What? The Mont Blanc Observatory,
course.
High Mountain Library and Writing Room, headquarters of Inspire Writing, which is our other campaign slogan.
You guys are
This
just listening to
space
the audio.
This is how the
represents
shorts
the spirit
are.
of Mont
guys.
Blanc as we
These are the shorts, yeah, yeah.
are.
Mont Blanc, as you know, produces excellent
You go to the
pens
YouTube for the
and
3-minute
also
video, just so you can see
watches.
what we're listening
and
to.
leather.
Yes.
Oh, you're
Here
gonna put
you
it?
can
Oh,
see
okay,
is the
okay.
famous little snow cap symbol on the top of it. This one's called the Meisterstück, this pen, which means masterpiece.
And this article is an example of the very good handcrafted leather goods which Mont Blanc makes.
Some more
and
pens?
maybe-
This is not a Mont Blanc. The hell
Yes,
is this?
it is.
Nothing
This is
inside.
actually the new special edition Mont Blanc fountain pen, which will come out next year, which I designed myself.
Oh, well done.
Thank you. Like it?
I love that. I love that.
Meisterstück. It's the classic.
Well, I prefer this one, which I designed myself.
What's your one
this
called?
guy's
Your
name?
one?
I don't like
It's
this
called
guy.
the Schreiberling, which means the scribbler.
He came out in Homeland.
Let's make our way up to the writing room, shall we?
Yes.
Here you can see is this room, furnished with the special Mont Blanc writing desk and very good paper and more leather goods.
And ink.
And hot chocolate and pretzels.
What are you going to write?
I think I'll write a letter to my mother.
Perfect. How about you?
I'll do my daily journal entry.
Fantastic.
I'll use my Meisterstück. And yourself?
I thought I might try my hand at writing a historical novel set during the times of feudalism.
Okay.
Wow. What's it about?
I don't really know yet. I only thought up the first sentence.
Oh, may I?
Yes.
It was a week before the solstice when little Helmut finally realized he was being hunted by a polar bear.
Little
Does that
helmet.
sound- am I stealing that
Little
from the start of some
Little
other book?
jeans.
I don't recognize me either.
I wasn't sure. In the morning, by the way, we'll all three ski back down to base camp after breakfast.
Weather permitting.
All together. But for now, let's write. Mont Blanc, inspire writing. It's our slogan.
Also, make your mark. There's two slogans.
Leave your mark.
Yes. Thank you. So now, let's write.
That's good.
That
That's good.
was the best thing I've seen all day.
You're having such a good day, buddy.
I'm having the best day. I didn't think I was going to get to see a new West thing.
And speaking of new Westings, it's important to note that this is very curated because
Originally.
originally we were going to do Scorsese month this month, and we decided to change that out because Wes Anderson's new film just premiered at Cannes, and we're going to screen it, and we had a chance to screen it ahead of time, but someone,
We missed it by a week.
yeah, 2 weeks. We could have watched it 2 weeks early with a live stream of
There
Wes
was a
Anderson.
screening, bro. We told
Son
you.
of a bitch.
We told you, bro.
Anyways,
I'm
we're-
gonna try to get it off. Huh? I'm gonna try to get it off.
you're going to go?
No, I'm gonna try to see. Like, let me.
Oh, okay. Anyways, we're going to screen Wes Anderson's newest film, The Phoenician Scheme, and we're going to cover it on the podcast.
Opening weekend.
Opening weekend. So check
I got
that
a
out.
question.
Yes.
This is a big question. Do
Okay.
you think Wes Anderson figured out Hollywood?
Small answer. No.
Dude, he made what was the budget? 10 million for this?
Well, no, that's what I mean
That's
by
what
the
I'm saying,
fact.
like-
No. But this is what I mean by like him figuring out not Hollywood, but him figuring out how to stay out of the Hollywood system.
And that. But he knows how to make it in
Wes
with budget.
has made films with minor studios or subsidiaries of studios like Touchstone Pictures, which was who distributed this. And then he's for the last I think it's like the last 10 films, he's been working with Indian Paintbrush. That's been his distribution company, which is through Lionsgate.
Okay.
So he kind of stays away from major studios, major players. The Netflix thing really knocked everybody kind of in a crazy way because it's his first time working with a big streamer.
Netflix.
And they did right by him from the looks of it. But I think he figured out just how to navigate his way enough outside of the Hollywood system because the Hollywood system was going to accept him anyway.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, did he figure out how to maneuver through this whole crazy Hollywood and just
For his stuff, yeah, I think so. For sure.
Dude,
I'd say so.
I like this guy, bro. This guy's good.
This
guy's
He's
good.
really good, and I feel like when you look at his filmography,
Yeah.
as time progresses, you're not seeing him sacrifice in any way. He really
Exactly.
does. He really is able to explore and play, and
Astro
even like
City's
we
a
just
big
saw with that short, very serious. They wanted a campaign for a pen, and they're like, you have to produce this.
That's probably
but he's
fucking
going to
$20
do
million
it in,
commercial.
Yeah, but he's going to do it in the most stylistic way towards his auteurship, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Plus, something that I like, and I don't know if I've described in previous episodes when we talk about Wes, I like the way that they can be heavy themes. Again, in this one, Rushmore, his mom gets cancer, exploring love and exploring trying to be respected for something that he's too young to garner that kind of respect.
It's almost like this character of Max has, like I said, nosedived into just trying to figure out life, that he explores so many things, so many almost nonsensical things of like skeet trap and cross country and debate team and whatever.
Yeah.
To where the point where he finally gets to a point where he's like, I mean, he even tells his dad, like, I think I need to explore how to score the chicks. And I think that's just what this is the chapter of this Max character is like, what's love? I'm 15. Maybe I should explore that one next.
I can get everything else. Now it's time to get chicks.
Yeah.
And at the very end, he does.
And this
which
is what I
so
love. This is what I love
weird.
about that arc.
Everybody.
Is it is an exploration of this piece, this component of the human condition, which is love and loss, and falling in love with a teacher who's very smart, who has a British accent.
We've all been through there.
Yeah, absolutely. And but also rediscovering, like, that's why the the Asian girl, I forget the name of her character. Yang.
Margaret Yang.
Margaret Yang.
Is it Margaret? Margaret's character. That's kind of what I love about her being placed as the pawn. That's gonna knock him for a loop in the sense that, like, oh no, hey dude, you're up here right now. You're just way ahead of your time. What if you take a step back, date someone your own age, be that guy for a minute, and just kind of explore love that way? That might work out for you.
Also, he kind of dodges her because she's almost doing better than him.
Yeah.
And
she's very secure of herself.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I think she's very secure of herself in that same age group. That she's very secure of herself, and she can kind of hold her own and
She voiced
do her own
something for
thing. She
Susanna
doesn't. She wants to impress him to an extent. She likes him, but she's not super far into that. Like, she just wants to she just kind of wants to get to know this kid. And I think that's a great exploration. I almost feel like that's the component I love the most about this film is like he wants to date the older woman who's very sophisticated, who's a widow, who's learned loss, who knows what loss is. I can relate to her. I know I can impress this woman. I'm sophisticated. I'm educated. And then learning the lesson of, like, bringing it back down to, like, hey, no, like, just be a kid. How about just be a kid? How about just go to a dance and dance with a girl of your own age?
Do you think he finally learns that lesson when he's flying the kite?
Yeah, absolutely.
That he's just finally kind of like having fun and being a child, and then that's when it re-sparks back in him. Like, oh,
I think the humbling thing comes sooner.
I like that.
I think the humbling thing comes when he starts cutting hair for his dad, because he introduces, or he's told people about his dad being a neurosurgeon, and almost like sees his dad less than, because he's just another common worker. But the minute he starts doing what his dad's doing, and he sees just how much his dad connects with people via this profession, and how much he influences people, and how much people like him, and how much of just a good person it's made his dad. He starts to do that as an escape to not have to go back to school. Like, hey, I'm joining the family business. I don't need to go to school anymore. But through doing that, I think it just humbles him to where he can process the kite thing.
Yeah.
But I think it starts with, like, him being like,
also,
I need to relearn how to be a good human being again.
Yeah. I something that we haven't explored, and I'll try to use this as a segue into the acting that I want to ask you a little bit more about.
Yeah.
I love how layered every character is. Every character here has a lot of depth and a lot of heart, and you can connect with all of them. Not to say that they have these overly elaborate backstories, but to say that each of them have a core element that you can relate to, and you can find the best and the worst in. Like, for example, the Margaret Yang character. Her character, as brief as she's shown, shows that she's an intellectual, has a lot of promise. She's almost like an embodiment of what he imagined in himself to be.
Sure.
And yet she still has the wanton desire to find kind of the attention of him because she likes him. And I noticed for the first time that line that she says when she's flying her plane, and it was like, oh, you know, the Navy or someone was going to buy your project.
Nah,
and it's like,
fell
nah,
through.
like
I cheated.
Yeah, I cheated and it didn't work. And she doesn't say that the project didn't work. She's just like, oh, it just didn't work for what it was trying to do. And in a way,
I thought it was gonna work.
no, but it was the
says that.
first time that I almost felt like she was saying that, sure, maybe the experiment itself didn't work, and it also didn't work in getting his attention, because in that whole scene, you see that she's looking over at him, and when she like doesn't get his attention, she's kind of like, oh, well, what's the point? Like, I made this really cool thing, but it was because I wanted to impress the cool guy who's in all these clubs and knows how to start up things, and she was like, well, it just didn't work at the end, like, you know.
Yeah.
So I didn't care about selling it to the Navy. Like, sure, I can make something really cool, but no, I wanted to get your attention. And it didn't happen.
One of my favorite lines was almost at the end when Bill Murray.
He's in the Cholo.
No,
play?
when Bill. That's actually pretty good. No, when Bill Murray says she's my Rushmore. Like, yeah,
And
she's
then
my
he
Rushmore.
says, yeah,
too.
she was mine too.
The way he says the line is definitely perfectly defines of Wes Anderson. This film is like, he's not going over the top. He's saying, hey, that was me too, but he's still going with the chaos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He just turns around and they're very like, got it, me too.
Yeah.
You know, or I get it. You don't need to explain this to me. She was mine too.
That
And
kind
just
of broke my
keeps
heart,
walking, yeah.
but not enough to the point where it was like, but it was kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. keep
I
going.
also like Bill Murray's character in this.
I love
being
that
this,
line.
I think it's a good segue to talk about the acting, and I'll kick off an exploration that I think is very interesting. The Murray character, they sped the distribution of this film. It was supposed to be released in February originally. They fast-tracked it to release for 1 week in December so that Bill Murray could get an Oscar nod for Best Supporting Actor.
Okay.
I don't think he won, but...
Did he get a nod?
I think he did get a nod for Best Supporting. At least that was their intention with releasing the film that soon.
16 wins? What did it win?
American Comedy. Oh, no, it didn't get a nod. No Academy Award nominations.
Golden Globe.
But
You know, I'm
Bill
not
Murray did get a Golden
surprised.
Globe nod.
But did it win? Oh, it didn't win, right?
No. So, yeah, I think the Bill Murray character,
Teen
obviously...
Choice Awards.
Obviously, he was
Still a thing back
the...
then.
He was the celebrity in this one. He was the guy that's going to carry the film in terms of promoting the film. Wes Anderson went around the country in a van with his PlayStation and clothes in a van, old school way to promote this film. And again, because Bill Murray being a celebrity, he has some clout to get people in the theaters.
Right.
But the Bill Murray character, being this kind of eccentric billionaire who is bored with his life, whose kids treat him like shit. Fun fact, like Bill Murray hated those fucking actors.
I mean, who didn't, bro?
Which is like the guy,
twins?
the kids who play his kids. He was like, they're just so annoying. Like it fueled my character to hate these little pieces of shit. But that eccentric billionaire who has all the confidence in the world could steal this girl from this kid, you know, and clearly does. But also, like when you mentioned that line, Castro, what I paid attention more to the Bill Murray side, where he says she was my Rushmore. Like he's admitting something, like he's being vulnerable with this kid for the first time. Like admitting that
he's kind of treating him at an equal,
Yeah.
like an eye level.
Yeah,
That's
but
how I took it.
that's why he's doing it. He's not this kid's equal. He's not. He's not even a contender. This girl's not gonna date this kid.
See, but I love that whole chemistry throughout the film. That little chemistry that they have of that rivalry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't work, right?
Until he
'Cause
cuts his brakes, you know.
still start going and running over his bike.
No, but I love that. I love that complexity of like the Bill Murray character coming down from his kind of high-powered position almost and being like, "Hey, kid, I love the way you love. Like she's my Rushmore." And that's how I get that tone of voice for Bill Murray. He's like he's just admitting like, I'll admit, man, she's my Rushmore. You know, it's like I see how you see this school. I see all the activities you've, and I think that's the first time. Jason Schwartzman's character also admits that out loud.
But then they just continue with their day.
Yeah.
Oh, and then also, I mean, the fact that as much as everybody wants to just be like, hey, this is just some kid, like, don't give him too much credit. That line after he mentions, like, oh yeah, she was my Rushmore. And earlier in the dialogue, it was like, well, what are you planning on doing today? He's like, I was going to try to crush you with the tree, but I don't really care anymore. And then later on the tree falls
snaps
like,
a little bit and
no,
the whole thing
this
falls.
kid could genuinely kill you if he wanted to.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He's dangerous. He's too smart for his own good.
no, and also because of him trying to play himself when he's older, or trying to play a more mature, more composed, more sure of himself person.
Yeah.
Everybody likes him because we all can relate to him. We all can relate to a moment that we feel that. And you see in the what is it called? I forgot the teacher's name, but
Ramen.
what is it?
Miss Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, that she
Rosemary Cross.
looks at him and says, I like talking to you because you remind me of him, her husband, that he was always starting projects. She was Jason Schwartzman was the president of the Beekeeper Society,
that.
but
Wow.
her husband was the founder.
No.
That he was doing
Yeah,
the
he
exact
went there
same-
because he went to that school.
So she finds like a connection with him being a reminder of somebody she really cared about.
Yeah.
And then with Bill Murray, it's
And
almost,
then he says, like, when he's in the bed, and she's like, Herman didn't hold. The entire person of Herman couldn't hold in a fingernail what my husband was.
Dead fingernail.
And then he's like, a dead fingernail. Like, let's get past that.
Damn.
I don't know if you guys caught it, by the way. The pictures of her dead husband are Owen Wilson.
So
Wait,
he
what?
Definitely made an appearance.
really?
So, like, in the bedroom, right? Bedroom she sleeps in, her husband's room. There's,
Yeah,
like,
I didn't see any.
there's photos of him, like, on the
Wow.
nightstand or
I
on
was
the wall.
looking for something like
that
that.
up?
And if you look around, if you see the one right by the bed, it's Owen Wilson. All the pictures are Owen Wilson, but that's the one you can see the clearest.
What?
looking for
Co-writer
that.
of the film and the great Owen Wilson. Oh, also, these two were fucking in the go-kart scene. It's Wes Anderson and Owen Wilson in the go-karts.
No, that's pretty
Wait,
good.
what go-kart scene?
Where he's like he started the go-kart society or
at
whatever.
at the very,
That's these two idiots. Yeah, look.
the very beginning.
Oh, it is
It
long hair
Owen
Wilson.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy! Wow.
I love those little Easter
Yeah.
eggs.
No, but yeah, that's Owen Wilson and Wes Anderson driving go-karts while he's sitting there off to the side. Yeah. I really liked her. I liked Olivia Williams' performance a lot. I couldn't help but think to myself, like, man, would Olivia Williams make a good... Would she have played the role better than Minnie Driver in Good Will Hunting?
Nah, dude.
And I really liked her. I really liked her in this. Like,
I go with Go Will Hunting lady.
with Minnie Driver.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really liked Olivia Williams in this. I thought
She's
she was
good.
terrific.
I just feel like, I don't know, the other one had a little bit more emotion to her.
What's what do you feel like is the emotional context for the father, like being the father of like Max? Is there a level of detachment? Is it wanting? Like, I love the
I think it's the fear of being ordinary.
no, but
I think
I
that's.
don't think the father feared that.
Oh no! I mean, that's Max's fear.
No, yeah.
When he sees his father.
That's why, like, it's this weird relationship when the father really enjoys Max and is really proud of how far he's come, but then it's kind of like, oh, I guess.
I think I've never gone through this. I don't hope this for anybody, but I think when you have a kid who has to process death and they go in any direction but down, you just keep encouraging that.
Yeah.
That's
And
right,
I think
true.
that's really what it is. His position is to just, you're in this many clubs, dude. Keep going.
The
Like,
best thing
I'm
you can
proud
do
of
is
you.
just encourage,
yeah,
yeah.
because he doesn't want him to fall into the pit of despair after losing his mom. I think that's just where his dad
even the whole
sits.
thing where he gets like, hey, I need you to sign this letter, and it's like, oh, you got a 37 on your math test, and it's like, it's close to an A, and then he changes to like an 87.
Exactly. I think he's got kid
Yeah.
gloves. I think he's had kid gloves for this kid for 8 years, and he doesn't know how to deal with it.
It's understandable, right? You don't want to give anything more negative to this person.
Yeah.
Who would you like to play in this film, and
All of them.
who's the hardest character to play?
Probably Max. Max is the most fun, but obviously the most, the one with the most arc, the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Max is probably the one that I could relate to the most. Obviously, I would want to play Bill Murray
Yeah.
because I think Bill Murray's awesome. I don't know how he's been Wes Anderson's go-to guy since, but like we were talking about, you can't improv, you can't really do. But him with his subtleties, with his gestures, steals the screen. So I could see
Just-
why he picked Bill Murray.
think-
His ability to play it straight, his ability to like like go through again the absurdity of everything,
All the chaos
and
around
play
them.
it.
Yeah.
I love the absurdity of the painting. Of the painting of
Oh,
Bill
yeah, yeah.
Murray's character and his family.
Yeah.
With the cigarette.
With the cigarette, no, but it's funny because whoever made this made it very poorly. But they hang it proudly in their house because it's a portrait of the family, like royalty. But it's pretty fucking ugly. And again, the absurdity of trying to be proper when you're just another family in the suburbs of
Yeah.
Houston, you know, a rich family.
I just, to me, it's amazing how Wes is able to play that off, and I don't feel like enough people recognize that. Everybody is, I think all of Wes's characters think that they're on a stage, and they think the whole audience is watching.
yes.
So whenever they do anything, as uncomfortable as it may be, they're trying to do it with like, I'm on the stage, I'm performing to you. But let's say if like while performing, like the dog just instantly dies, and it's just kind of like, anyway, this was how the dog was going to be presented,
And
all
it
that.
worked.
I love the idea of like Herman's, Bill Murray's character drives a Bentley, and sure they use it to see his his money and stuff like that.
Right.
But he uses it to crush a kid's bike.
Yeah.
It's a Bentley. You don't see a Bentley in these capacities typically. But again, the absurdity of money and at least for these characters, and what does it matter? Like doesn't he ask him like, so how much do you have in the bank? Well, around 10 million. Okay, we're gonna use 8. We're gonna need all of it.
No. He says like, how much are you worth? I don't know. And he's like, oh, do you think about 50 million? It's like, probably.
Probably,
And
yeah.
he's like, okay, well, we're gonna need all of it.
Yeah.
And then
they
afterwards,
use
they
8
do this
million.
groundbreaking ceremony at a school to open an aquarium
Yeah,
randomly
yeah.
that's going to take up more than half the field.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I spent $8 million and she didn't show up. It's like, Jesus, dude, like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
I think that's so fascinating too, because they're both doing the same thing, right? They're both trying to in Spanish it's conquistar, right? To win over the girl with these big lavish
Displays.
displays of love, and but they're going out of their way for her.
And also, she doesn't care.
No, she doesn't
Right,
give a
that's what
shit.
they
It's
all
like
think,
you
like-
like, but it's just almost a commentary on like boys will be boys. Like it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
absolutely.
these little kids, these little fucking boys just want to keep
Hey,
swinging
man,
their dicks around,
We've
and
up
it's
in 8
like,
years
yeah.
and horny as shit. Bro.
Yeah.
Don't you
We get it.
also feel like it's mocking the society that is trying to be proper in these really silly
Sure,
things?
sure.
Like, I love how realistic the groundbreaking ceremony is. being a photographer and Christ Chavez has given me a couple of jobs, like doing like ribbon cuttings at certain facilities, and I'll say that when you go there, it's exactly like that. It's like, okay, let's get the owner and they're going to hold the mega scissors and they're going to do this whole thing. And it's at some point in time, if you take a step back, like it's silly. The whole thing's really silly. A bunch of adults holding big scissors being like, open.
Or the golden shovel.
Yeah,
at
or the golden
groundbreaking,
shovel.
you know?
And it's like, oh,
That
I'm
was pretty-
like,
Yeah.
it's millionaires saying, I lifted the first piece of dirt before they dug
So
into
you're
the
telling
place.
me if
It's
you were
like-
to build like a massive studio, you wouldn't want to do that?
it's just
It's
like
just absurd. No, I understand. I understand the
yeah,
the
like, we would want
societal
that.
the societal
Yeah.
like normalcy of it now. But like, who thought of this? Who thought we're gonna dip a shovel in gold? Oh, solid gold.
I've never seen that
then-
one. I've
and
seen
then
the scissors. Not
No,
that
I've been there. Like I've in the groundbreaking of where I work at, it was all the board members like putting their, and I'm the one taking the pictures of like the board members putting their $300
oh,
shoes
and then
in dirt
sometimes
to.
they gotta like reposition
yeah,
themselves. So
oh, that didn't work out. Oh, we're gonna do it again, and then they just do that, and then they leave, and then the real work
Patch up
starts.
the dirt a little bit more.
and all the permitting and zoning and everything like that. And again,
I know it's symbolic, but it is absurd.
It is absurd, but
Yeah.
it's the rules that they're playing by. Because even the way that Max like hosts a dinner after his high school play.
His hit high school play.
Yeah, he's like, I made a hit play.
What
for
have
a
you done
high
with your
school."
life?
Yeah, and again, I love this commentary on like the character enacting the fool, where the fool is always going to be like a dope and is always going to be like somebody that you can point and laugh at.
But ignorance is bliss.
But no. The fool is meant to be a reflection of you. The fool is meant to be like a reflection of like think of like the Borat character. As absurd as he is, he's only there to help enforce the absurdity in other people who try to interact with the fool. Like, who's crazier, the fool or the person who's trying to tame it?
The fool, arguing with the fool, yeah.
And I feel like that's this whole thing.
I think, I mean, he's made it very clear from the beginning. He made it very clear to Dr. Guggenheim that he's like, hey, do you remember how I got to this school? Yeah, you wrote a play. Yeah, a play that you wrote and you liked and then gave me a scholarship to come to the school. And it's like he's been telling people like, hey, dude, school ain't going to be my thing. I'm going to get poor grades. I just want to write plays and do weird shit. And I'm probably going to be successful in that. So it's like the whole
even like when they said like, Max, just please, just get your grades up. Just start studying. Stop doing the extracurriculars. And then he talks to his friend Dirk, and it's like, so what's going to happen? Oh, I'm going to have to persuade some board members. It's like, what? Like,
he wants to go through that trouble instead of just doing the work. And come on, like if we haven't all done that, like in college, like, hey, instead of writing that 5-page essay, can I just make a film? I did that so many fucking times. Because you know what you love and you know that you can do this better and you might as well do what you love. And he says that multiple times in the film and it just goes over people's heads.
Yeah.
But he knows what he wants to do. He knows that in the private school, he was successfully made a play. In the public school system, he successfully made a play.
Yeah.
Like, he's good at that. Just let him do that.
Absolutely.
Encourage him to go to art school. Encourage him to go to theater school. Like, what are you doing? Don't tame the fool. The fool knows what he wants. You're the fool.
Yeah, you're like, again, anybody who's interacting with him, it's so silly to see like Bill Murray's character like dropping off notes, apology notes to a teacher, and even him, he's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm sorry. And it's like,
this kid could either be a really good theater director or a lawyer. Like, he can persuade people to do whatever he wants.
It's so funny. I love it. I love the heart in it. I love seeing the early styles that Wes like not only perfected but expanded upon in his later films. So that's why for sure for like Auteurs Month, I wanted to kick off with this one. I wanted to kick off with
Good stuff, for sure.
something that was really strong in his early filmography, and then we're gonna go and so if I'm not mistaken with the order, and I don't think I'm like too early in saying this, but we're doing this one. Then we're going to be doing Royal Tenenbaums.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We're doing a kind of big leap forward in his filmography because we wanted to do West Month with
timing.
Yeah, with timing on the Phoenician Scheme. So right after we screen that one, we're going to come here and record it so that way you can get our first take on the Phoenician Scheme.
Fresh take, yeah.
Then we're going to be doing what is
French Dispatch. Oh no, Darjeeling Limited.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So
yeah.
Rushmore is coming out now. Our next in the West Month
is Phoenician Scheme.
Right after we watched it.
And so, yeah, like this is just to get you excited about Wes's filmography. Then we're going to see his latest film. And then we're going to jump
Maybe
back in.
we should work backwards alone. Maybe we should end with Royal Tenenbaums. Phoenician Scheme, French Dispatch, or the Darjeeling Royal Tenenbaums.
The only reason I would justify ending with French Dispatch is because I think that's when you're exploring Wes expanding on a lot of different stylistic elements and then regrounding himself with like something like Phoenician Scheme. I feel like Royal Tenenbaums was something early he did. I think it just strikes well with major audiences. I also haven't seen it yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
you haven't seen it or you haven't seen it in a long time?
We know for sure the next film, the next episode that will be out will be the Phoenician Scheme. And then we're just going to keep talking about Wes Anderson for the rest of the month. So stay tuned for all of that.
Yeah.
And then we'll be announcing what we're doing next.
Yeah. We got a lot of good auteurs to talk about, a lot of good movies. Sure. Originally, we were going to do Wes later on, but then with his announcement of the Phoenician Scheme, we thought let's try to rework things.
And that announcement like came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just this kind of like pop-up thing.
Yeah.
I knew he was working on it and then just here. Yeah. So, yeah, it's exciting. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it's great.
Thank you.
Dude, as
Austin.
soon as I get home, I'm going to buy this movie.
I'm buying the shit out of this movie.
No, I am, dude. Wow.
Cool.
Yeah. No, thank you.
I believe it's gotten the Criterion treatment.
It has. It's
did.
Criterion Spine.
Have to, dude.
Mm-hmm. It's a really cool cover. It's a really cool cover.
Thank you, Austin.
For what?
For picking up these lovely chairs.
Oh yeah.
And
Comment on
CK for like
Cleaning them and washing them.
yeah, cleaning them. And I mean the whole crew came together to like put all this together. I redid lighting and yeah, like
beautiful,
we.
man.
Oh, Michael Head giving us the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, just shout out to everybody. I feel like this is our.
There are plenty
Kickoff
of things you can
for
comment
Plugging
on.
along.
Yeah, it's a kickoff for, we're always trying to do better. We're always trying to improve. And it's really cool to just be able to have this space. I think not only is it fun for us to like talk about films and our favorite filmmakers, but we try to improve all this so that way you have something nice to look at because we want you to be a part of the conversation. And yeah, we're doing this for you because we love you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tune in next week for the Phoenician Scheme. Hopefully, you can screen the new Wes Anderson picture in
I'm
the
excited
theaters.
for this one now.
The
Go to
trailer looks
theaters.
fucking awesome, man. Like they've been releasing a lot more interviews with like
Michael
Michael Cera.
Did you see the one that they did recently where somebody asked them like, "Oh, now that you've worked with Wes Anderson, are you going to keep being a recurring character for Wes Anderson?" They asked Michael Cera, and then Michael Cera's like, "Who answers this?" And he's looking at Wes like, "What do I say?" And then Wes is like, "No, he'll be back." And then he's like, "I guess I'll be back." He's like, "Don't worry, we can shake on it. See, like we shook. Like I'm not just bullshitting you. Like he'll be
Well,
back."
I mean,
so.
he does. He brings everybody back.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
That's a good one, though.
go watch Rushmore if you haven't screened it, and
Watch Phoenician Scheme in
watch
theaters.
Phoenician Scheme in theaters, please.
Please.
Or illegally.
They are. It's going to be everywhere in El Paso. We've already checked.
Yeah.
Alamo Draft House for sure. So go check it out.
It's gonna be a Draft House, Cinemark. I think Flix might have it.
Yeah, everybody's gonna.
Yeah,
have it.
but please go watch it in theaters because I know that like with West Films,
Yeah.
as much love as there is in the community, yeah, it's one of those that's limited release.
I hope
really?
we can.
It doesn't get a lot of love in the
no,
cinema?
No, it doesn't. I also hope that we get a 35mm print.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'd be great. Awesome. Well, let us know what you think of Rushmore. Let us know what you think of Wes Anderson. Comment below. Share this episode. Let us know what
Give
you
us
think.
your top 5, Wes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And thank you for tuning into the WatchTower Film Podcast. Good night.
Night, everybody.
Keep watching film. Love you guys.
My number one's Life Aquatic.
God damn it.
Oh, fun fact really quick. The book that he checks out where he finds the quote,
Yeah.
that's the
that's-
book that
kicks off
Life
Life
Aquatic. Life Aquatic is based on. That was the inspiration for Life Aquatic. The
I'm
book
trying to,
that
I'm
the
trying
kid
to remember
has.
the
It's a-
title
it's- yeah,
because he
it's-
always kept it.
Yeah.
My number two is Asteroid City.
Well, Austin, we can keep this in. What else? What else, buddy?
What's your top 3?
Take care, everybody.
No.
Ah,
Take
come
care.
on.
It's okay. You also
Wow, you're
fell
going to give the
asleep.
audience blue balls.
You fell asleep during.
You're gonna give the
Fantastic
Wes
Mr.
Anderson
Fox.
blue balls.
You've never seen Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I know.
Boo this man.
Thank you for tuning into the WatchTower Film Podcast. Good night.